Hang on. There's a Templar military bot on patrol near this sector. You may want to rethink travel in this area.
I can take care of myself, but why isn't SSC just getting rid of it?
We've got our hands full. Most of our guards are at headquarters providing security for the summit.
So you're just going to cede this territory?
We're waiting for reinforcements and our own mech detachment before we move in. This is way more firepower than we're prepared to deal with, especially with our resources focused at HQ. But if you can take care of a millbot on your own, be my guest. You're free to proceed. We're just warning people to steer clear of that bot.
Processing likely intrusion. Threat detected. Assessing damage. Danger. Hull integrity failing.
You must have no idea. Area secure.
Hull play.
Tracking infrared disturbance. Anomaly detected. Tracking infrared disturbance.
It sure sounded like someone was mucking about. Oh well.
That's disquieting.
That's a strange sound.
That's enough.
Grenade!
Taking...
You can't sneak up on me! I'll avenge your death.
What's that I hear? Who's there? I'm ready. I wonder what that was. Fine! Enough of this hide and seek! I'm...
I don't know where she is, but she better show up soon. The facility here is being raided by the Templars. So far, we're holding our own, but I don't know how much longer that will last. This may be my last transmission.
restored power to the experimental device on the lower level. Good, you're thinking ahead. You'll have to come back later to bring it online. You don't know enough about it yet.
Repairs complete.
Are you Her Holiness? It's strange seeing you as just another person.
Yes, I'm just another ordinary human being like you. My name is Nicolette Duclair.
Chairman Dumier, the leader of your opposition, has taken a special interest in your safety.
The WTO wishes no harm to come to Her Holiness. This summit was to be an opportunity to soothe the tensions between our organizations and to root out the extremists causing trouble in Trier.
I'm impressed that you would protect the leader of your adversaries.
It's okay, Chief Morgan. We can tell her the truth.
The truth?
Alex, the WTO and Order are not as they seem. They are but different faces of the same organization, the Illuminati, an ancient secret society to which Chad and I are the heirs. My mother was the Illuminatus Beth Duclair. The WTO and Order are merely the tools Chad and I are presently using to elevate humanity to the next level.
I know, it's overwhelming. I've dedicated myself to the WTO only to find out it's just a myth they created.
If the WTO and Order aren't actually opposing entities, then what's the point of this summit?
The real opposition right now comes from the Templars, the militant anti-biomodification group. The summit was only a cover to justify our public presence in Trier. Our true goal was to investigate rumors of a Templar splinter cell within the Order.
And what did you find?
With the help of Agent Morgan, I learned that Lumenon Saman is the traitor. He has converted most of the Trier Shard to his extremist views, incited the riots, and has been stealing equipment from the Panzerworks factory.
Saman? He's behind this?
Yes, everything. My kidnapping, the disabling of the gate. He's taken a critical component from it, the sequencing module, to the Order Church in Rockstadt, where his group is headquartered. Once you get that module from him, you'll be able to use the gate.
Thank God she's all right. Thanks for taking down enough of those Templar outlaws to make it easy for my people to move in. Now let's follow up on what Her Holiness learned about Lumen and Saman. Go to the tavern and hire a pilot. If you would like a map of Saman's compound, report to the SSC station on your way across town.
Cease now that you know the WTO isn't what it seems, what are you going to do? Leave the organization?
I don't know. I'm still reeling from the shock. But somehow it's starting to make sense now.
Can you forgive them?
It does make me uneasy, finding out it's all a front. But I can also see what the Illuminati are trying to accomplish and why they must work in secret. I'll probably continue publicly working for the WTO, but with a new awareness of its true importance.
Mr. Dumier sent me to safeguard Mr. Claire's return.
She's all yours.
Thank you. I will be assuming command of this facility. Your presence is no longer required.
I don't know what I'll finally decide.
The WTO and Order are actually two branches of the same organization?
Precisely. We could never lead humanity as one monolithic force, at least not initially. The Illuminati have always worked in secret, and the WTO and Order are just two of our present facades.
But people dedicate their lives to these causes, and it turns out they're just your pawns?
Not at all. We are humankind's servants, not their puppeteers. We knew that human society could not respond to a single voice, so we engineered these organizations. With these fronts, we can optimally lead civilization toward a bright future.
Report to Mr. Dumier.
There's danger.
Stop.
Leave me.
Saman really is...
Unfortunately, yes. He has taken the Order's respect for nature and warped it into fanaticism. His quest for purity is just a euphemism for the extermination of modified individuals.
Surely the Illuminati can deal with a few crackpots.
Don't underestimate the Templars. Saman has amassed a great deal of support and resources for his cause.
Report to Mr. Dumier.
When were you planning on telling the public about the WTO and Order connections?
When the time is right. Right now, the general populace simply isn't ready for this kind of information. At this stage, we're only telling select individuals in the higher echelons of each organization.
Then why are you confiding this in me?
Because you're an extraordinary creation, Alex. We've been watching your progress for a long time, waiting for this moment.
Your presence is no longer required.
Perhaps this is my destiny, to join the Illuminati in their...
We work in secret only because it best serves our...
Leave me.
I think these Templars are itching for a war.
Nothing to see here.
Tracking infrared disturbance.
Impressive work taking down that bot.
Your followers haven't expelled you yet?
Word is leaking out that Her Holiness and I have been secretly working together. I think we can spin that into diplomatic ties.
Or private negotiations. How does that sound, darling?
No need for people to have the perception that we started these organizations for some other purpose.
Unless somebody tells them.
I could tell them myself. They would think it was the same old story. The Illuminati secretly controlling the world. Who? Some might believe it, but everybody else would laugh in my face.
People want to believe certain things about their leaders. That's always been our key to power.
You said you had a map of the Templar compound.
Yes, of course. Here you are. Find the sequencing module. Go through the gateway to JC's sanctuary. We have our own interest in protecting JC Denton from the Templars.
I would think that you and Apostle Corps would be bitter enemies.
We are, but first the clam must give up its pearl. Good luck, Special Agent Denton. We will call on you when the time comes. In case you need a pilot to take you to the compound, the Nine Worlds Tavern is a good place to hire one.
That was a pretty low trick you played on the world, taking advantage of the collapse to seize power and then deceiving people with a phony conflict between business and idealism.
No society is without this conflict. Our intention is to develop both principles and then integrate them into an open, secular society.
One puppeted by the Illuminati.
Our work has always done more good than harm. The collapse would have been far more devastating if Chad and I hadn't served the memory of my mother and of my family's history by rebuilding the Illuminati organization, which was nearly destroyed by MJ-12.
There was a time when we were the rebels. The older generation had failed us in so many ways. But now we see that the flaw was in their methods, not their intentions.
Their intention to disguise tyranny with so-called free institutions.
The average citizen in a society of billions is never free, whether because of tyranny or simply because of the contrast between his small size and the size of the government.
We plan to give people a sense of freedom and a prosperous world. In practical, historical terms, that's about as good as it gets.
Be there for us, Alex. The critical time is approaching.
You grew up in hard times, Alex. Don't let that make you into a cynic.
The old order is generally recognized as the high point of civilization. We simply want to revive it.
Panzerworks finally reached their breaking point.
The Nine Worlds is a no-weapon zone, strictly.
So you want me to disarm?
No, you've just got to consent to the standard deactivation procedure before...
Here you go.
Thanks for your cooperation.
I found Her Holiness. Turns out she's Nicolette Duclair, an Illuminatus.
Of course she is. That was my precise purpose in sending you to save her, so that you would believe me when I say that we face a great danger. The Illuminati have been very successful at reshaping the post-collapse world. Control of our technology would allow them to create a hand-picked ruling elite.
How can they simultaneously support the ideals of the Order and the commercialism of the WTO?
The Illuminati have always sought just one thing: centralization. Centralization of wealth, power, and ideology. The implementation details are unimportant.
So they centralize wealth with the WTO and ideology with the Order. What about power?
That they hope to get from us. Work with our charming co-conspirators just a little while longer. When you have the sequencing module for the gate, you'll be free to contact JC on your own.
My chopper is ready when you are.
I need someone to take me to the Rastatt neighborhood.
As you wish. I will meet you on the rooftop next to the tavern.
My feet are killing me.
You are becoming a very interesting source of information. I will help you to recover the component for the teleportation device.
More decryptions of my communications.
I'm your friend, Alex. The more I know, the better I can protect you.
Just get me to the Rastatt, and try not to draw too much attention.
Business is business.
Let's go.
As you wish.